All right. Well, good. Wednesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson, and we have a lot of weather to go on and talk about for tonight. But before we get into the weather, I just want to first off congratulate everybody for making it halfway through the work week. Just give you all a round of applause. It's Wednesday. We have Thursday and Friday left to go, so let's just go on and give ourselves a round of applause. But that's the first thing. Second thing, as you can see by the title for tonight, a weekend of storms is setting up across South Carolina, and that is the case because as we look at these models and how have we been looking at them just over the past couple of days? Well, we've been looking at them with seeing a more active trend as we move later on into the week here, and then going into next week and onward. So we have a lot to kind of go over here, but if you have not hit the like button yet or the subscribe button yet, please go in and do so as we are trying to get to that main goal of 900. We had a couple of subscribers come in today, so we're moving closer, but let's go in and get there. What's on tap for tonight? Daily chances of showers and storms continue Thursday through Sunday. Heavy rain and flood risk through this weekend. A few strong storms with damaging winds possible each day, and then rain chances decrease Sunday into early next week. So let's see what is currently going on. Well, as you can see right now, we do have rainfall going on from areas of the upstate up into the Piedmont areas, over into the low country. Over here near Moncks Corner, we have some rainfall kind of moving through these areas. Coastal Charleston County towards Seabrook Island, Rockville towards Kiowa Island, also receiving some rainfall right now as we speak. Now, what about for the entire U.S.? We do have some rainfall activity going on over in areas like Florida. Florida getting hammered with a bunch of rainfall. Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas getting hit with some severe storms. Same thing with Colorado. We also do have some strong storms in New Mexico. Rainfall all throughout the west from Montana, Idaho, the Four Corners area towards Nevada, California, and then even in Michigan receiving some rainfall and some storm activity all the way down into Indiana and Ohio. Now, what about for our cloud cover? We are seeing cloud cover in all regions of the state, upstate to coastal areas. We are seeing cloud cover activity, rather it be from the upstate, like I said, Midlands, PD, low country. We're seeing it. Now, we're not completely overcast in every location, but it's more of mostly cloudy conditions over here. And then if we go in and take a look towards our cloud cover for the future, we go in and push this forward over into around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. into Wednesday. And then as we move all the way into Thursday, maybe even going into Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon here, we'll look at how cloudy it is even as we get into Thursday evening, Thursday night. Here's Friday morning at 7 a.m. right here. I mean, cloud cover activity staying constant with us over the state of South Carolina as we go throughout into Friday afternoon. Now, once we hit Friday afternoon, things seem to try and calm down a little bit, but in the upstate at least, but most of us still stay covered. So cloud cover will be in our future and just will be over the state as we move throughout the next couple of days. Now, what about for our current temperatures? We're talking about 77 in Summerville, 79 Charleston, 80 Beaufort, as well as Hilton Head Island, 78 in Georgetown, as well as 79 in Murrells Inlet, 79 Myrtle Beach, and 78 in Orangeburg. We move up into the upstate in the Midlands, 79 in Columbia, 77 Greenville, as well as 76 in Spartanburg, Gaffney, 78 York, and Rock Hill. Air quality as we move over into tonight, things are looking okay. Most of us are inside of that moderate category, which is not the best, but not too bad either. So if you're in those yellow areas for tonight, please make sure that you are paying attention to that air quality, making sure it doesn't get too bad. And then also make sure if you are not inside of those yellow areas, that you enjoy the night tonight, unless it's raining. Probably should be inside for that. But if it's dry and you're outside for a long period of time and you're in the green, you can definitely enjoy tonight without having to worry about any sort of bad air quality for you. Low temperatures for tonight, we're talking about 69 in Greenville, Spartanburg, 70 Rock Hill, 72 in Columbia, as well as Orangeburg, 72 Sumter, Florence, 71 Moncks Corner, and 75 in Charleston, 72 Georgetown, as well as 74 in Myrtle Beach and Hilton Head Island. High temperatures for tomorrow, we're talking about 91 in Greenville, 90 Spartanburg, as well as 91 in Greenwood and Columbia, 92 in Orangeburg, and 90 in Moncks Corner, 88 Charleston, and 87 in Georgetown, 85 Myrtle Beach. Now, what about for our heat index values for tomorrow? Not bad, not bad. Trying to get up maybe to around 102, 103, 104 at the most, probably, but not bad at all, compared to what we have been seeing. I know for a lot of people, 102, 103, still hot. And trust me, it is still hot, but not as hot as we have been seeing it. This is, still kind of this cool down that we've been seeing since last week. Now, as we go in and take a look at rainfall for the next 24 hours, a good amount of rainfall definitely is possible. You're talking about areas in the upstate, maybe seeing 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch. And all of this, by the way, is without flash flooding. But Greenville, Spartanburg, 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch. Same thing with Rock Hill, Columbia, 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch in areas like Orangeburg, Sumter, Florence, Kingstree, going into Georgetown and Hilton Head Island. Quarter of an inch to a half an inch in areas like Charleston, Myrtle Beach. And then some areas may even see a half an inch to an inch of rainfall. So it definitely is possible that we receive a good amount of rainfall over here inside of these entire state. But there are going to be some spots that don't see any rainfall. And that is definitely a possibility that some areas do not see even a little drop of rainfall over the next 24 hours. Crazy score right now, we're at a 16. Right on the mild category. No alerts going on right now, but we are right on the edge there. 1 through 15 is calm. 16 through 30. 16 through 30 is mild. So we're just on the bridge right there. But the reason why we're seeing, showers and storms right now. Low country seeing showers and storms. Upstate seeing showers and storms. And that conditions tab is really starting to get up there just for a 16 right now. Now, again, no alerts right now. If alerts were added on, the score would probably be more moderate, maybe even strong if there was a couple. But for right now, mild is what we're looking at. SPC outlook for tonight. Thunderstorms technically are still possible, and we do have thunderstorms going on right now throughout the state in some spots. But for right now, it looks like that the majority of the thunderstorm activity, especially from earlier, is done. I had a thunderstorm over at my house around 2 hours ago or so, and that dropped a good amount of rainfall, which I'm definitely grateful for. Definitely grateful for. But for right now, I think that we are most likely just looking at a calming down in terms of storm activity. Now for tomorrow, same thing. Thunderstorms possible for the entire state. Doesn't matter where you are. The ingredients for a thunderstorm is there. You have the potential for it. And then on Friday, things get a little bit more intense. We now have a marginal risk of severe weather for Friday, August the 28th. This includes the upstate, Midlands, PD areas, and this has a 5% risk of producing some severe weather in the dark green. If you're in the light green, just regular thunderstorms possible. Could see some strong ones, and same thing tomorrow as well. Tomorrow we could see some strong storms, strong gusty winds. Hail could be included with it as well. And so don't let your guard down, because these summer storms, nothing to play around with. Nothing to play around with at all. Now, what about for excessive rainfall? As we move over into tonight, still have that isolated flash flooding risk as showers start to taper off. Tomorrow, same thing. Isolated flash flooding is possible for the entire state. Friday comes in, and now we're taking a look at something a little bit more intense, as I said earlier, for Friday, because Friday brings a slight risk of excessive rainfall for not only the PD areas in the Grand Strand, but going into the Low Country as well. So if you're over there in Ridgeland, Hilton Head Island, down into Walterboro, the Tri-County areas of Dorchester, Berkeley, and Charleston County, going over into Sumter, Manning, Kingstree, Georgetown, Myrtle Beach, up through Conway, through North Myrtle Beach, through Florence, Bennettsville, Darlington, Hartsville, all these areas, slight risk of excessive rainfall. That is a 15% risk of flash flooding as we go into Friday. And then don't, just because you're not in the yellow over here on the left side of South Carolina does not mean that you are good and you don't have to pay attention to anything. You definitely do. You have a 5%, it's lower, but you still need to be watching for that isolated flash flooding that may pop up. Saturday comes in, and again, we're taking a look at isolated flash flooding again from areas of the southern upstate down all the way towards the coastal areas. And then Sunday, break comes in. We are looking good. Looking very, very, very good. So what about the models now? Because I think that a lot of this could be explained if we go in and take a look at the models real quick, just because the models kind of show us what could potentially happen. And keyword potentially, not 100% going to happen. But make sure that you pay attention to the time at the bottom part of your screen. That is very, 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 very important to look at, because if you do not keep an eye out on that as we progress through, you're going to get lost, and we don't want anybody to get lost. So we're going to start off here 8 o'clock p.m. We push this forward. We're still seeing shower activity. We're still seeing storm activity. We move into midnight or so. And this is what we're looking at. We still see moisture going on in areas of the low country, still seeing moisture in the Grand Strand areas, maybe a little bit moving up into the PD areas. But one thing that you notice is as you get here to around 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, look at all this shower and storm activity that tries to resurface itself and move its way back up into the low country and back into the PD areas. Again, this is 4 o'clock in the morning, and we have showers. Could this potentially be storm activity? Well, if we're going to take a look, it seems like that it can. So we could have showers and storms at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning in areas of the low country, maybe even up there inside the PD area. So do not be shocked if you wake up early, or if you get woken up easy by thunderstorms, that may happen. Just because we could have some good storm activity and just some good rain activity going on early tomorrow morning. We get even into 6 o'clock in the morning. A lot of that activity spreads into the PD areas, spreads into the Grand Strand areas. And then as you go into even like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., now the coastal area is still getting hammered with some heavy rainfall throughout some of these areas. We go all the way to 10 a.m., to 11 a.m., and then 12 o'clock p.m., to where now we're seeing showers and storms potentially in areas like the Midlands, the PD areas, once again. So a lot in terms of rainfall. There's a lot. And we need to just continue to keep an eye out for it, and we'll have more updates for the short term, like throughout the early morning and afternoon going into tomorrow morning as well. But let's go on and go a little bit further, just a little bit further. Let's go to the 18Z real quick. We're going to start off here at 12 p.m. We push this forward. We get to 3 p.m., 4 p.m. or so, and you see rainfall activity. You see storm activity in areas like the upstate, going on into the Midlands, going on into the low country areas again, going back into this afternoon time frame of tomorrow. We get into the evening time frame, going all the way into the 12 o'clock in the morning time frame. We're still seeing a bunch of shower and storm activity on Friday. Friday morning comes along. Things calm down as we go into Friday morning a little bit, but as we get into around 11 a.m. on Friday moving onward, again, you're not really seeing too much. Even by 2 o'clock p.m., don't really see too much here as we move early morning on Friday. So I think that Friday and Thursday, on a comparison level, I think that Thursday morning is a bit more active for sure than Friday morning is. I mean, just look at all this rainfall that could happen tonight, like at 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning. That is a lot of rainfall that could fall there. And then just as we go over, compared to Friday morning at like 4 a.m. here, you see some rainfall, you still see moisture, but it's definitely not a whole lot compared to that. Now, how much rainfall could we potentially receive in terms of, flash flooding, and just in terms of regular rainfall? This does go all the way back to around 3 o'clock p.m., so all rainfall that was kind of received today, this is kind of an add-on to it. But you can see areas, in Berkeley County, Charleston County, some areas can get 6 inches of rainfall. 6. You see over here in southern Dorchester County, 2.5. Over here near Columbia, 3 inches. Over here near Myrtle Beach, maybe half an inch. In the inland areas of Horry County, maybe close to 3 inches. Maybe up to 2 to 3 inches in areas of the upstate. Some areas maybe even close to 4. So again, this is just a possibility. This is not 100% going to happen. This is just a possibility that we could see 6 inches of rainfall in some spots. We could see 2 to 3 inches of rainfall in some spots. Because remember, this does go into the early parts of Friday. And then you also got to remember the main part of Friday's rainfall most likely comes in a little bit later. If we go in and take a look at the NAM real quick, not going to take too long on this. But if we go and take a look at the NAM, look how much rainfall we have going into Friday night, going into Saturday. So there is still more rainfall. We're going to get a buttload of rainfall as we get over into this weekend here, and then also going all the way into that Friday and Thursday, and shoot, even tonight. We're going to see a bunch of rainfall. And so I believe, for the most part, that this drought is going to start ticking away quicker and quicker and quicker. This is what the drought looked like last week, Thursday. Remember, tomorrow is the drought monitor prediction. Have your predictions ready. Again, this is what it currently looks like right now, and we'll have that tomorrow. So make sure that you're here 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, where we will be talking about this and be predicting it. So let's go on now and take a look at the long-term future. We're going to start off here at the 48-hour mark here on Friday. And just as we go in and push this into the afternoon, going into the evening, we move this over into Saturday. We're still looking pretty active. Sunday comes in. Sunday, things calm down. We don't see too much rainfall. We don't see too much thunderstorm activity as we move into Sunday and Monday. We move over into Tuesday and Wednesday, and you can see kind of why we are receiving this nice weather. What do you see right here at the top? High pressure system. This is a high pressure system that we are seeing right here. And so this is going to cause nice, sunshiny weather for us over here inside of the southeast. And I'm trying my best to draw a sun, but I'm not an artist at all, so this is probably terrible. But nice sunny weather, nice dry weather over here inside of the southeast. And so just as we push this forward even into Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, things just look nice. And next week, overall, it just looks dry. Just looks very dry to, compared to what we are seeing right now. We move over into Saturday and Sunday, and things may get a little bit more active as we get towards the end parts of next week. I'm kind of watching for that time frame as a storm system may try to come in, but right now I'm more focused on this week's weather right here, but also looking at next week to see what next week looks like, because it looks like that we're going to be mostly dry, but as we move towards the end of the week, next week, things are seeming to try to get a little bit more active. And then watch even as we get into the week after next week. Here's Wednesday, here's Thursday. Still, another dry period could come in with another high pressure system coming in. How much rainfall could we see over the next 384 hours according to the GEFS? Well, the GEFS is saying right now some areas may get 1.5 inches, some areas get in 1.8, 1.9, and then the max, it has some areas getting up to around 2.5, 2.6 inches of rainfall over the next 384 hours. That is, not necessarily a whole lot, but just compared to the high pressure that we're getting and with the rainy weekend we have ahead, honestly, and just as an average, I definitely could take this right here. I definitely think that this will definitely be some deserved rainfall, and then we'll have a good break next week. A good break to get stuff done outside, a good break to just do whatever we need to do before another batch of rainfall may try to come in next weekend. So, we'll see what happens. But I do think that this rainfall here, even if it is this low for some spots, will definitely be pretty helpful. Could see a little bit more, as I always say. But for right now, I'm fine with this. And even if we go and take a look at the European is still kind of staying on its same track that it has been for the past couple of days. The upstate may be getting around 1.5 inches, maybe some even less, while the coastal areas get close to 3 inches of rainfall or more. Now let's go in and take a look at our temperatures now. We're going to start off here on Friday first because we already know what tomorrow is going to look like. But as we go in and take a look at Saturday, for example, going over into Sunday, those temperatures, they're still warmer than average. Don't get me wrong, but they're not as bad as what we have been seeing. We move over into Monday, and then we move over into Tuesday of next week. And so this is kind of where the problem arises when we get to all of this dry weather. When we get to this dry weather, we get to this high pressure. That's going to make a good amount of warm air try to get into this area. And so since we are so, kind of like accustomed now to this not so hot weather, I guess you could say. Some people may think, oh, well, I guess that all of that 100-degree temperatures is gone. Do not fall for it. Please do not fall for that. Because watch as we get into Tuesday of next week, 15 to 20 degrees above average. We get into Wednesday of next week, same thing, 15 to 20 degrees above average. Thursday, same thing. Friday, same thing. So trust me, another cool down is coming, and like I said, as we go into late next week, it looks like that could be the case right there, but do not get into this aspect and do not get into this mindset that, we're done with the 100-degree temperatures, we don't have to worry about it anymore, because we could have another shot, and next week with all that dry weather kind of coming in, that could potentially be the case. Now, as we go in and take a look real quick at our actual temperatures themselves, moving over into Friday, going over into Saturday as well, we're still staying more in the 90s, more in the, low to mid 90s or so. But then Monday of next week, okay, some higher 90s coming in, and then Tuesday, there it is, 100 to 101, 102, maybe some areas a bit higher than that as we move closer and closer towards that date. But Tuesday of next week looks like, we may be getting back to those hot temperatures once again. Wednesday, same thing. Wednesday could be even hotter. Same thing with Thursday, and then Friday as well. But then as we go into Saturday, that cooler air comes in, and overall things look a bit, cooler over here in the state as we move into later on next week into the weekend or so. And it really does calm down a lot. Really does. And then in terms of heat index values, I kind of just want to look at next week to see what that could potentially look like. Heat index values maybe could get up to around 106, 107, 108. And then as we move over into Thursday, may get up to around 110, all the way up to around 111, 112 or so as we move over into later on. So I think that we, again, not necessarily done yet. Not necessarily done yet. And then finally, as we go on and take a look at the mean temperatures here, this is the temperatures over the next 200 hours to see what we could potentially be looking at here. As we go on and move this into an average basis here, we move into next week. And then as we move into next week, you can still see a lot of us still staying in the 90s or so and not really dropping out of the 90s from an average perspective. So a couple of days ago, this was showing us, averaging out in the 80s. But as we get more and more into September, it looks like that we are continuing to stay more inside of the 90s potentially. So maybe that cool down that we saw a little bit earlier wasn't legit yet. And so that's why I always say take everything around 200 plus hours out with a grain of salt, because there's a good chance that it won't happen. And that's all that I have to say here for the model. So let's go on and take a look at the tropics now, because only one area inside of the Atlantic right now, only one area. And you can see as of the 7:39 p.m. update, Disturbance 1, Invest 96L is still over here, still, potentially causing, well, not really causing any problems, but causing some rainfall out there inside of the Atlantic, and it's continuing to get a little bit more organized. You can definitely see this thing is starting to organize a little bit more, especially as, we compare it to yesterday or even this morning. This is what it currently looks like, Invest 96 over there in the Eastern Atlantic. Now, in terms of the discussion for it, an area of low pressure associated with the tropical wave is located several hundred miles west-southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. Showers and thunderstorms associated with the system have slightly improved in organization now the last several hours. However, recent received satellite and data suggest that the circulation is not yet well defined. Environmental conditions are somewhat favorable for development over the next couple of days, and a tropical depression could form within the next day or two as the system moves west to west-northwest near 20 miles per hour. Now, however, take this into account. You remember yesterday, this was a red. This was a code red. This had a 70% chance of formation. Now it's an orange, and it downgraded. It's now a 60%. That's why, or that's because it says, however, environmental conditions are expected to become less conducive by this weekend, potentially ending its chances for development. So even though, this had a high chance of forming, if it doesn't form by this weekend, it could, this thing could go away. And that's just the whole, that's kind of like just like the whole trend as we've been getting into this El Nino pattern, to where we have all this wind shear out here in the Atlantic, and it's just not, and nothing's really going quick enough to the point to where it could really just start to move and like start to actually cause some impacts over here. And so this is now a 60%, not a 70% anymore. And this could be almost a repeat of what we saw just a couple of weeks ago. Or, no, not a couple of weeks ago. It was last week, I think. I don't know why I'm thinking about a couple of weeks ago. But this could be the same thing as last week with the last system. Because the last system that we have, it was in the same predicament. Came in, had a code red, like an 80% chance of formation. Like, we thought that was going to be the next storm. Next thing you know, it's not there anymore. And it goes away real quick. So let's go on real quick and just take a look and see what the ensembles have to say. We're going to start off right here with the global hurricane models first. This is the global hurricane models right here for around like the next 160 hours or so. And you can see most of them don't have it curving. Most of them have it actually causing some impacts in areas like the Leeward Islands, the Windward Islands over there, into Puerto Rico, into Haiti, Dominican Republic, those areas, it has some impacts kind of going on over there. Now, how strong will it be? That's a good question, but for right now, we don't know. But for right now, that track kind of goes more down towards the south and west. We go on and take a look um, at the GEFS as well. The GEFS kind of saying the same thing, majority going towards the south, but that's because I think that the GEFS has more wind shear kind of going on and breaking that storm apart compared to these other runs that kind of have it, getting stronger quicker and has like hurricane force winds potentially like impacting Bermuda and then moving up into the northern Atlantic. And then if we want to take a look at the European model, the European, something happened because it has a multitude of almost major hurricane status storms. I mean, a low pressure center of around 930, that would be pretty much close to category 5 strength if that was to occur. But again, most of it goes down towards the south, doesn't really do too much. And then as soon as it gets to, as soon as it gets past like that major wind shear portion, strengthens very quickly and kind of just sits over here and just off of our coast and then just moves off. So, we'll see what happens. And South Carolina definitely can, see some impacts from it, rip current wise, high surf, coastal flooding, anything, along those lines. It just matters how close it gets. Really just matters how close it gets and how strong it gets. Now, right now, the intensity guidance for the hurricane models kind of saw this coming, tropical storm at the max, just because most models right now are saying that if it stays weak, it's going to continue to move its way west. If it gets stronger quicker, it's going to move its way up towards the north. And that's usually how these storms right here go. Now, if we go on real quick and take a look over at the individual models themselves, the GFS. Let me go on and go back over here real quick. Left screen, there we go. We start off here on the 27th, and we push this forward right here. And the GFS just itself kind of has this kind of fizzling out quickly, causing a bunch of rainfall over there in the Caribbean, going into Puerto Rico, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Cuba, and just kind of fizzling out. So the GFS kind of has this thing going away pretty quickly. The European model, kind of the same thing. In fact, the European model kind of has this thing getting going pretty quickly, and then kind of just fizzles out once again, just becoming a bunch of moisture. You get over into the CMC. The CMC is also most likely on the same page. Brings in a good amount of rainfall over there to those same islands down there. And then the Icon as well. Let me go back to the 12Z real quick. The Icon as well, just bringing in some rainfall, but actually kind of sits out in the Atlantic a little bit. Kind of sits out. We saw that run yesterday evening to where we had one model, I forgot what model it was exactly, but it had this low pressure kind of just sitting over here and sitting in the Atlantic, gaining strength, and then just turning up north quick. And then finally, I do want to go and take a look real quick at the European AI model. And here it is right here, most part. Has it moving its way up and then dying out due to wind shear. So there's a lot of things right here that we're going to have to go on and, figure out, see what happens. But this is kind of all we have. So let's go on and take a look at the audience, because that's pretty much all I have to say here in terms of the main forecast for tonight. We still have a couple more things to do, but let's go on and talk with the audience for tonight. If you don't know what I mean by talking with the audience, it is where I go on and speak with the subscribers of the channel, see what's going on over there with them, weather-wise, any questions that they may have, or anything just in regards of the chat. Something weather-wise, hopefully. And again, if you want to be a part of the audience, you can by being a subscriber and being here at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to start off here with my Nana, who was here first, says, hello, Jay, and all. A nice little rain. I'm enjoying the Florida room right now. Well, thank you so much for that weather report, and I'm glad that you are enjoying some outside time right now. Mount Lewis says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Today's high in Georgetown was 84 degrees. Felt like 99 degrees. Currently it's 78. I didn't get a chance to work outside today. The kids had, hold on. Excuse me. She says, today's high in Georgetown was 84 degrees. Felt like 99 degrees. Currently it's 78. Well, thank you so much for that weather report for where you are. At my house right now, it is around 76. Got around 0.42 inches of rainfall for today, and the high temperature for today was around 87 degrees. Then my Nana comes back and says, I didn't get a chance to work outside today. The kids had an early day today. Well, You should get some time out there. Well, may get some time out there tomorrow because tomorrow looking, pretty active in terms of rainfall as well. So you may or may not. Then Mount Lewis says today, coming from Rose Inlet Hospital, there was a lot of rain. Georgetown was not as bad. Well, um, that's just how these storms work, especially during the summertime. A couple of areas, there may be a town next to you that gets a bunch of rainfall, while your town gets barely anything. Georgetown had cones set up for flooding. Well, thank you so much for that information. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. And then Mount Lewis says, Georgetown did have 33 inches of rain. I'm pretty sure you mean 0.33 inches of rain, because 33 inches of rain, that would be devastating. But I know you mean 0.33 inches of rain. Terrell says, lovely evening, everyone. Well, same to you. And then Thad says, good evening, Joseph and the 360 Weather family. I trust all is well with everyone. It was another hot day here in San Antonio. We got to around 103. We deserve some rainfall, LOL. Well, definitely y'all do. 100%. I mean, y'all have been dealing with hot temperatures and dry conditions just for the past, who knows how long at this point. Too long. Pretty much too long. And I have some good news for you, though. I have some good news for you, and I think that you definitely will enjoy that news whenever we get to that San Antonio forecast. But before we get to that, it's time for the top fan question of the night for tonight. You might be asking, top fan question, what am I talking about? It is a question that I asked to see who was paying attention. And whoever was paying attention, whoever was going on and, actually paying attention to what I was saying, will go on and win for tonight. So, let's see who was paying attention. So, when we go over into, let's see, rainfall. For the next 24 hours, there was one location that had more rainfall than the rest when we're talking about precipitation for the next 24 hours. What town or city was it? Again, there was one actual labeled location that had a higher precipitation amount than the rest of the labeled location. Actually, there was two. Take that back. There was two. Just caught it just now. If you can go on and put that location inside the chat, you can win. And again, this is another easy one right here, because all you have to do is literally name any city or town in the state of South Carolina, and there's a chance that you could be right. So if you want to participate in that, you have to be a subscriber and have bragging rights for the next day or so until tomorrow, unless you win tomorrow again, which is possible. But while they're answering that, let's go in and talk about the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. You might be asking 4 areas. What am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we go in and give them their forecast for them. Berkeley and Georgetown, no, not correct. Not correct. We're going to start off with San Antonio first. And for you, low temperatures tonight, you have it around 80 degrees. High temperatures tomorrow at around 100. Low temperatures tomorrow night at 79. No precipitation tonight or tomorrow. No precipitation tonight, but tomorrow you do have a chance of thunderstorm activity, not only just during the day, but during the nighttime too. So look at this. You have a chance of rainfall, an actual, higher than 20% chance of rainfall for tomorrow. I mean, this is amazing right here. And so, definitely, you will. I mean, if you do get rainfall tomorrow, please let us know, because we will have a huge celebration if you do actually get some rainfall tomorrow over there. Now, what about in terms of your severe weather, excessive rainfall? Well, for right now, it does seem like that you are good in terms of severe weather. Excessive rainfall wise, you do not have a risk of excessive rainfall, so you're good there too. And then for your future, it does also look like that you're going to stay into the 90s. You're not going to kind of leave the 90s. You're actually going to stay out of the 100-degree range as you move into next week. So a cool down, like a little bit. I know it's only maybe 5 to 10, more like 5 degrees below average. But, I mean, still, 5 degrees is 5 degrees. So we'll take that. We'll take that for sure. Now for Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at 71. High temperatures tomorrow at 90. Low temperatures tomorrow night at 72. Slight chance of thunderstorms tonight, and then tomorrow, chance of thunderstorm activity tomorrow and tomorrow night. No precipitation is expected for tonight, and then also tomorrow. Well, I don't know why I keep saying that. There's a chance of rainfall for tonight and tomorrow. Slight chance of thunderstorms tonight, and then tomorrow, chance of thunderstorms as well. I guess I've just been so accustomed to saying that for honestly both San Antonio and Raleigh, and for Duncan as well, that I just automatically think no rainfall is expected, but there is. In fact, you have a chance of severe weather on Friday as well. Friday, you have a chance of isolated flash flooding. And then as you go over into Thursday, you have a chance of isolated flash flooding. Friday, scattered flash flooding. Saturday, isolated flash flooding for you. So, in terms of your future, it does look like you will continue to be active all the way through into next week. But once you hit Sunday things calm down and you're dry actually for the majority of the week next week due to that high pressure influence. And then temperature wise, you definitely will get hotter as you move into next week as well. Let's see. I see Charleston and Beetroot. I have to ask because I keep on seeing you put Beetroot. Where is that located? Because I've just never heard of Beetroot, South Carolina. Like, is that actually? Well, I mean, it has to be a place, but like, where is that actually at? Because I've never seen that. I've never seen that on a map, like ever before. Or is it just like a census designated place? But I do see one correct answer, and downtown Charleston or Charleston was one of the correct answers. There's still another one out there, though. There's still another one out. There is still another answer out there, though, so that is not the only one that has won for tonight. If somebody else gets the other location, I definitely think that we all can, because I think everybody here knows what this location is, but we could have two tonight. We could have two tonight. We're going to move on to Philadelphia, though. Low temperatures tonight at 71, high temperatures for tomorrow at 86, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 70. No precipitation tonight. Showers are likely tomorrow. Make sure I had to say that correctly. And then tomorrow night, thunderstorms are also likely tomorrow night as well. You have a flood watch there in effect as you move over into tomorrow as well. So something you have to watch for. So I think that pretty much kind of assures you have a risk of excessive rainfall for tomorrow. And you in fact do. Slight risk of excessive rainfall for tomorrow. And that's about it. Severe weather-wise, you do have a slight risk of severe weather, a 15% risk of damaging winds, a 5% chance of damaging hail, and a 2% risk of tornadoes. So you have a risk of isolated hail and isolated tornadoes, as well as scattered damaging winds of up to 60 miles per hour tomorrow. And then for your future, temperature-wise, you're going to continue to stay into the 80s, maybe the high 80s, and then you actually get back into the 90s going into next week. So it seems like the East Coast is just going to heat up in general. And then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, I do see the other answer. It's either Myrtle Beach or Beaufort. Let's see which one gets it correct. It's either my Aunt Lula or my mom. But let's talk about Duncan real quick. Low temperatures tonight at 73. High temperatures for tomorrow at 98. Low temperatures tomorrow night at 71. No precipitation tonight. Tomorrow, slight chance of thunderstorms. And then tomorrow night, slight chance of thunderstorms as well. It's going to get back to being hot for you. You're going to get back up into the 100s. So these 90s, enjoy them. It's kind of crazy to think about. Enjoy these high 90s while they last, because it's going to get hotter, and it's going to get up into the 103 degree range once again moving later on. And then in terms of severe weather and excessive rainfall, it looks like that you are in the clear for the next 5 days as you just continue to stay dry. What's going on in terms of the entire U.S.? Dangerous heat will build across the southwest through the end of the week, with daytime highs of 110 to 115 degrees. Isolated to widely scattered severe storms are expected across parts of the central and the southern high plains, Great Lakes into the Ohio Valley, and parts of the Ozarks to the lower Mississippi Valley today. So a lot of severe storms are possible for some areas. Heat continues down there in the southwest, same thing in the south central. And then overall, just for severe weather, we have a bunch of people in a severe weather zone for tonight, tomorrow. Areas like Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Arlington, Virginia, same thing with New York City, Colorado Springs, Pittsburgh is included in a risk of severe weather for tomorrow. And then obviously our day for North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Norfolk, Virginia going into Richmond, and then up there in South Dakota, North Dakota, and Nebraska has a risk of severe weather on Friday. And other than that, that's all that I'm seeing here. So if you know anybody in those areas, let them know. Risk of severe weather could be coming for them sooner or later. And the correct answer for tonight, it was either Myrtle Beach or Beaufort. Let's see. It was indeed Myrtle Beach. So congratulations to my Aunt Lula for winning it for tonight, as you are the second top fan of the night for tonight. Just to show you, this is the risk, or this is the rainfall for the next 24 hours. Myrtle Beach 0.25 to 0.5, and then Charleston 0.25 to 5, and then everybody else is 0.1 to 0.25 or 0.01 to 0.1. So those are the two areas. Congratulations to y'all too. And then Trail says thunder here now. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Up there. But that's about all I have to say here in terms of the entire forecast for tonight mainly. I will be back tomorrow morning for your Thursday morning forecast update, and then tomorrow evening for your Thursday evening forecast update. Make sure that you are there for that. And then also make sure that you are here for our drought monitor tomorrow evening. That's going to be a big thing that we're going to take a look at, because I'm very excited to see not only this week's, but especially next week's as well. And we'll also take a look at San Antonio's for that, because honestly interested to see if they will supply a drought over there inside of San Antonio. So I guess we'll see. If you have not hit the like button yet or the subscribe button yet, please go in and do so. We are right now at 828. You know, we got some help today, and like I said, I've been getting people to subscribe as well, but like I said, I can't do this all on my own, so please go on and share with all the people that you know, friends, family members, acquaintances, and let them know free weather is here and reliable weather is here. Live forecast every night at 8 o'clock p.m., breaking down everything more than just a weather app. And speaking of weather app, check out my website, scweather360.com. If you have not hit the like button yet, please go in and do so. We've had around a good 48 people tune in tonight and only 8 likes. If you're a part of that group of 40 that have not hit the like button yet, please go in and do so. And hit the subscribe button as well. Trying to get to 900 by the end of September, and then trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. Let's get there. I will be back tomorrow morning for your Thursday morning forecast update. Make sure that you are there for that. And as always, hit those 2 buttons before you leave if you are new. And also, there is a picture from my Aunt Lula. I'll show that in just a second.